Apprentice to the Masters, Adventures of a Western Mystic, Part 2, by petermtshasta. Chapter 2, Section 1. Sent to Mount Shasta. With heart racing and barely conscious of where I was, I found my way back to the parking lot where I'd left my van. I got into my vehicle and began driving, almost automatically, sensing that in some profound way my life had changed, that I'd made an irrevocable decision and nothing would ever be the same. It was years later when, as a student of Tibetan Buddhism, I took the Bodhisattva vow to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all beings that I realized the significance of the choice I had made that day, to choose service to humanity over immediate freedom. Paradoxically, I found that happiness does not always reside where we anticipate it, and freedom is often found in commitment. I did not remember getting on the freeway, being oblivious of time. Perhaps 2 or 3 hours later, I found myself on the interstate, passing the town of Red Bluff. I saw straight ahead, surrounded by evergreen forests, the glacial peak of Mount Shasta looming on the horizon, glistening in the distance like a beacon of light pulling me forward, a sight that took my breath away. As I drove, the mountain emanated an energy that filled my heart, and I recalled how I'd first heard about the mystical mountain from Shasta, an American I'd met the year before at the Kumbh Mela in Allahabad, India, a festival where millions of spiritual seekers gathered, seeking to find a guru. We had both been spending time with Ram Dass and his guru Neem Karoli Baba Maharaji, Sanskrit great ruler, as his devotees called him, had given Shasta an Indian name, that of a great yogi who had consciously left his body a century before. We had all assumed that Shasta was the reincarnation of that yogi, but on returning to the West, he had taken his current name, invoking the Christ star that is the source of being. Maharaji had told us that it would be very auspicious to attend the Mela and drink the waters from the confluence of the 3 sacred rivers, the Ganges and the Yamuna, which were physical, and the Sarasvati, an invisible river. What he had not told me was that by drinking this polluted water, I would almost certainly die from amoebic dysentery, which suited the ancient name of the city, Agra, the place of sacrifice. However, in order to heal myself, I was led to study the healing arts, which would eventually lead to a career that would bring benefit to others. This sacrificial act of drinking this sacred poison bonded me with the suffering of humanity and awakened compassion, the essence of all spiritual practice and requisite for a healer. Shasta had told me that Mount Shasta was a focus of the Great White Brotherhood, a group of enlightened beings who, despite the name, was composed of races of all colours and of both males and females, who had once lived on earth and ascended into a higher octave where they worked unceasingly to guide the destiny of humanity. To buy this and other books by petermtshasta, please go to i-am-teachings.com. Thank you for listening.